Welcome to the Channel Surfers. I am your host or co-host, John McCabe, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and fellow co-host, Jeff Lennon. How you doing, Jeff?
I am the fellow co-host. I'm great. It's great to be here. It's great. Yeah, it's great to be here. So
Thus the co, because we're both hosting the co.
yeah,
So
no, it's all good, man. It's all good.
today we're going to continue our series on the In the Field series that we started last year, talking to channel managers who are in the field doing the work, really living what we talk about and understanding what the theme of this show is, because they're out there in the guts getting it done. And today we're going to have a good friend of mine who really is a true road warrior, true in the field channel manager that travels all across the country, just knows how to be positioned with partners and understands all the little things that need to be done to make that partnership work. I've nicknamed him on LinkedIn #Mitch on the road, because he's always on the road and he has great LinkedIn posts. Another great follow for listeners. If you want to follow Mitch on LinkedIn, it's Mitch Simon. We're really happy to have you here today, Mitch. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man.
Welcome.
John,
Jeff, absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh,
yeah, no
you
worries.
say that now.
We'll see.
Wait, we just started, so let's see how you turn out in the next 40 minutes.
Yeah, we'll
Mitch,
run it up the poll and see who salutes.
Mitch, why don't you just give our audience a little bit of your background so they understand who you are?
Sure. So, been in tech sales since about 1993. Hate to date myself, but it's been a little while. Started in sales, and so for about 20 plus years, I was all different roles within a sales organization. And I got to the point where I just decided I need to get out of this or I'm going to die. I just can't handle the rejection, the stress anymore. Thin-skinned guy, want to be liked, all that stuff. So I'm like, what can I leverage and do that for the next thing? And channel kind of popped up, except at that point, about 10 years ago, it was channel. You had to be programmatic. You had to know how to run the plays. You had to know how to do all that stuff. And I just kind of did it. I was a sales guy, and I'm like, I think I can help, because I've been using channel salespeople and channel partners for such a long time. I believed in it. And so I went to my first company and pitched that. And the guy, VP of sales, great gentleman by the name of Bruce Shane, said, that's kind of exactly what we're looking for. So The rest is history. 10 years now, specifically in channel sales, and could not be happier. Just needed to turn that dial from 11 down to like 8 or 9. And it's all been all good.
Wow. I love the Spinal Tap reference. Thank you. But that's amazing. I think that's really a lot like how Jeff and I got here. I think we both had a sales background. And
both have sales backgrounds, yeah.
Eventually moved into channel, and I've been doing about 10, 11 years. Same with Jeff. Jeff been doing a little bit longer. But we totally no knock, but we totally relate to that.
Oh no, absolutely.
Well, don't you love the guys that say, "Oh, you're stepping back into channel sales"? Like it's really so much easier.
Right? It's not easier, right? It's different. It's different. And it's funny because for you to say that you're stepping it from 10, 11 back down to 8, 9, it's kind of a misnomer, because you're not really stepping it down. You're widening the aperture a little bit. You're making that aperture wider, because in sales, it's very singularly focused to go do, ABC. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've done it. And again, love supporting the sales reps through the process, but things that we've talked about here, which I would love to know your perspective. And that is, you have to understand the whole play, you've got to have this broader aperture of what's going on from here to here, and understanding the different components. You mentioned before we jumped on about, the playbooks and stuff. And it's more than just the playbook. It's how you work with people. And to your point, I think, and I'd love for you to tell the story a little bit about like how you actually made that transition, because I think John and I have similar stories, which is you ended up going to work on the partner side, and you found yourself going, wait a minute, I know how to speak sales language. I know what drives them, and I know what drives the partner. and then all of a sudden you realize you can tie all that stuff together pretty easily. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. It's the tying those things together. It's the trying to bring it together, but also staying really broad. That's what I probably think I bring the most to right now. It's certainly in my current role, but also the last few I've had, is taking the strategic picture, like looking at it the same level that a frontline manager or even a higher level, a regional manager, VP's looking at it. I'm looking at the territory. I'm looking at long-term. I'm not looking at any one deal, any one thing. I'm looking at the health of the business. So
yeah. One thing that I really admire about you and how you promote what you're doing in the field is your concept of being present. And I really think that's important as a channel manager who's trying to promote their company's brand and try to draw, opportunity. So give us a little overview of what you mean by being present, because you did a really great post at the end of the year about it. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So help our audience understand what being present is, because I don't know if all the channel managers out there these days know what that means.
Well, first off, you have to have the buy-in from your company. So hats off to my current company. I appreciate them buying in and investing in me doing that, because there's a lot of channel partners that I'm working with. Channel partner managers that I'm working with that don't have the budget, or they're not allowed to go out and do it. They think that you can just phone it in and do your job just by making a few phone calls. And my belief, and where I get really passionate about it, is when you realize that couldn't be further from the truth. I literally had someone tell me about 6 months ago, you know what? It's not all about the relationships. Relationships aren't as important as you think they are. And I have seen nothing in the last 6 months that lead me to believe that that is one of the most untrue statements that I've ever heard. It is all about the relationships. And so you start by being present. You start by being in front of them, caring enough to show up where they are, because let's face it, the partners are busier than any one of us are. They have hundreds of us that are approaching and working with them every single day. So if you start from that standpoint, and I'll say it in a number of ways, but you're looking at building trust, and you do that in person. You're looking at communicating, and you do that not through Slack and not through texts, although if you have a good enough relationship, you can form a good text relationship, but that's got to start in person. It's got to break bread. You got to have some drinks. You got to have some shared experiences. All those things are things that help build the trust, which is the founding baseline of everything else that we do.
So well said. And Jeff, by the way, there are like a million sound bites you can use for the clips right there. There's so many good sound bites right.
Oh, no, it was. I actually was taking note because you hit on a couple of high points, and I've always said this because you just kind of encapsulate a lot of it, right? You got to understand the sales part, right? John's spot on. I mean, it's the sales part, it's the relationship part, it's the coaching part. I actually used to joke a lot. I felt like a therapist, because you're kind of trying to massage what's going on, and because people's emotions. I mean, God, like I get it. I was a sales guy, right? But sometimes the emotions, people think with it, they react with their emotions first instead of thinking things through. But no, man, that's amazing.
It's funny. I'm going to jump in just to one more thing that I think is really important, because I want something to enter the vernacular. And so since I think hundreds, maybe even thousands of people are watching us right now and will listen to us later, I call it the "oh, by the way." And the "oh, by the way" only happens when you're in person. "Oh, by the way" is when you're out there, you're a sales rep or a channel guy, and you've had a lunch, you've had a happy hour, you've shared some time or whatever, and you're walking to the car. Your hour is done, right? Forget a 5-minute phone call, a 15-minute phone call, right? You've had an hour with this guy just finding out about his family and this and that and everything else. And you're about to reach for the car, door handle, and the guy goes, "Oh, by the way, what you were talking about before, I think I have a lead for you. Let's get in touch tomorrow with so-and-so." Oh, by the ways don't happen unless you're out there in front of people.
Amen.
You're so right. You're so right. That's the perfect, description of how that works. Perfect. We just released a podcast about SCO season, and that's kind of one of the things we talk about is like being there and being, making the most of your time and getting in front of those people that or you want to know. and making those meetings happen there, or immediately after the SCO. We find a lot of times channel managers go to SCOs because they want to have, drinks and fun and have a good time. And look, that's part of it, but it's not only it, Well,
it's not only it.
It's not
It's
only
not
it.
only
You have to go in with a plan. I agree. Like I said, I
Exactly.
listened to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You guys were spot on with those things.
Well, here's what's interesting, right? So to your point, the whole being in person, right? And I know everybody was like, oh my God, productivity went through the roof during COVID, right? Which we'll talk very lightly about that time frame because it's a weird time. But everybody was doing these online meetings and the productivity went through the roof, and it was like, this is great. A lot of people went through a burnout, but to your point, and you saw this weird transition to try to get back to the in-person piece. Hence the fact that John calls you Mitch on the road. It is about being in front of people. And I don't think people realize that it takes a lot to make sure that you are there, and then figuring out how do you make sure you're in the right places to meet the right people. I'll just digress. I mean, when I went and checked, you've known John longer than me. We just kind of met, but I was blown away at how many people we have the same connections with, on LinkedIn. Right. But it's also, it is about getting out there and meeting people. So because I always try to set up my question. So with that being said, I mean, what are some of the, I don't know, key tactics or things that you try to do when you're planning your week to go on the road? And what is your typical time? Are you on the road Monday through Friday? Is it Monday to Wednesday? What does that typically look like for you? Because you've been doing it for so long.
Great question.
Yep. Well, I'm lucky because, again, I have a lot of flexibility where I currently am, and I've earned, I think, a little bit of rope to hang myself if I want to. I generally will take an event or something that we have planned as a beachhead, right? So ideally, I'm looking for a happy hour, a planned event, marketing event, something like that, annual. Or not annual, a weekly, a monthly breakfast or something like that, vendor breakfast, anything like that is my anchor, right? Gotcha. And then I'm going to pick that location to go to. I actually have a very large territory. I live outside of the territory, believe it or not, but I cover the entire central US. So I'll pick a target. It's like, I need to get to Chicago. I haven't been there in a while. And so I will then build around that event, and I'll go as far as I'm willing to drive, which is pretty far for me. I love driving, so I don't mind that. And, make sure that I am visiting with people and I am providing some value there, right? That there's a reason. I'm not just reaching out and saying, hey, I'm going to be in town. Let's go grab lunch. I mean, sure, there's a person or two I can do that too, but it's, hey, I want to talk to you about this, or I want to find out from you what's going on with you, or tell me more about your business, or whatever it is. But I'm trying to create as many of those one-to-one or one-to-many relationships or, experiences that I possibly can. Typically for me, I'm heading out on a Tuesday morning. As John alluded to, it's the 5:10 a.m. flight, which means I board at 4:30 in the morning. I'm an hour and a half from the airport, which means I leave my house at 2:45 in the morning. I land sometime around 9 or 9:30, and I have the whole day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and usually I work most of Thursday. If I can get home Thursday, I land about 12 or 1 a.m. with the hour and a half drive home, or I take the 5 a.m. flight home on Friday morning and I get home around noon or 1 o'clock, have a little bit of time in the afternoon, and then take that time to kind of refresh, reset, and get ready for the next week. Because I've been out and working since 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I don't feel like I owe them those 2 hours on Friday afternoon.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Wow. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get some smelling salts because I think some people that were listening just passed out. Well, but look, that's the dedication. Sorry, go ahead, John. I mean, that's your dedication.
But it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't feel. I mean, again, I know when you kind of say it that way.
It's your dedication to do the job that you're going to do, right? It's not like, well,
sure.
I don't leave my house until 8:31. That's just what it's going to be, and
right.
Sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, I think that's a really great strategy and planning for that role. And you're not just going out, and we have a saying here on the show, you're not just doing chug and hugs. You're actually making real business happen, but you're doing those little things like the happy hours, the dinners, the lunches, the things that you have to get, mind share from the partners with, and in doing that. And, it sounds a lot like our good friend Ross Kemp, who's been, he was the first in the field interview we did. And Ross he does the same thing. He schedules out his week around the territory that he has to meet with. And he's very good at connecting. And, it's just part of what you need to do. And we try to emphasize that to our audience. This job isn't a social media coordinator job or a travel agent job.
Exactly.
I had a rep that worked for me, and he booked his meetings around, hotel and airline points. And it wasn't very productive meetings. They were just, he was just going and traveling to get his hotel and airline points. And it just annoyed me. But you're doing it the right way. I think that's a brilliant strategy.
Damn.
Well, what's funny, one of the things, like if it's someone that I really want to meet with, I will give them obviously carte blanche. It's like, look, do you want to meet for coffee, lunch, or 18 holes? Right? I mean, how much time are you willing to give me? How much time am I asking for? And one of the other key things that I kind of try and keep in mind all the time, ask for or try and expect just a little bit more time than you deserve, but not more than that. If you're 2% of this channel partner's business, don't expect 10% of their time. That's unrealistic. It's actually kind of rude. But if you do 2% of their business and you kind of try and get 4% of their time, that's probably about the stretch that you're looking for, right? So I've got a lot of compliments from regional directors, VPs of partners who are like, I really like the way you go about it, Mitch, because you're not hitting us up every single day, every single week. Your cadence just naturally falls into something that really fits in with what we're expecting back from you. And so when you align that way, it kind of goes better.
So what do you think? I'm just curious, what, like in your travels and conversations, what do you think vendors, feel partners care about the most, but they really don't? What is some of the things you think that partners really don't care about from a vendor standpoint?
Oh my goodness. That's such a good question. What do you think? What do vendors care about that partners? You know what?
Well, put it this way.
Ask me that.
You know how vendors are like, hey, the partners want our business. Yeah.
He was coming up with something, man.
The partners want our business. They should be, knocking our doors down. We have a great tech, and the partners are like, what do you see in that?
Oh, I mean, okay. Gotcha. I mean, believe it or not, margin is what everyone thinks they want. And it's kind of an easy one, but difficult margin or non-repeatable margin, one-time margin isn't what they want. So I would say that's a super simple one. Like, look at our program and look at the margin we have. Also, it's the margin they keep, right? So margin's a really complex thing, or discount, or all those things. That's what they don't want, what we think we want. I can kind of tell you what they want. They want consistency. They want repeatability. And they want pull through. They want things that are going to make them look good. What they don't want is to look bad. They don't want tech to put in and have it not work or have it not deliver, no matter what the margin is.
Yeah, that's a great answer, because I think we've talked so much about that on the show, and how, we think, oh, they just want their GP. They do. They want consistent GP, but I think they also want simple messaging, and to know you're going to be there to help them pull through this deal. And they're not going to be hanging alone. Yeah. I honestly don't want someone selling my tech alone. I want to be involved with them to sell the tech, so we could combine efforts and really push it through.
No doubt. I mean, my big thing, whether it's towards my people, my sales reps, or whether it's the partner, is I want to empower them and I want to enable them. So my goal is to get them to do that. But there's no amount of enablement that you can do to make that happen. The only way that happens is to win enough deals and do it together, where they take that on, where their SA, their SE, and them are like, oh, I get this thing. And a lot of times I sell stuff that's not exactly, the commodity-based stuff. So everything's a little different. Every use case is a little different, and you can't get repeatability. So you kind of need to be there and teach them a process where they can discover that, not necessarily just the playbook, because there isn't one. But I want to head towards that, enabling them and empowering them. But you're right. You can't just expect, oh, they're the partner, here you go. Now close the deal and give me the PO. If you're doing that, you're doing something very wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny, John. And he said it when we had Jay McBain on. I throw his name out a lot, and we just saw him today on a different thing. But he uses that term a lot, Mitch, the cash register. These partners, the vendor, they don't want to be a cash register. They're not a cash register. Stop acting like they are.
Not an ATM.
Every time when you hear that, you're like, he's kind of right. But I do love the fact that it's consistency, reliability, and repeatability. But so let me ask you, let me kind of carve into this a little bit, because you definitely have some really good insight, and you've been doing this for a while. So if you had a 30 minute meeting with somebody, what does the partner sync look like for you? What is the, like, how would you frame it out if you were trying to help somebody kind of get the wheels underneath them?
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're just trying to get the wheels, if you're saying that they've agreed that they want to work with us, but they're not quite there yet or whatever, the first little bit I'm going to find out is, what do they sell and what are they effective at selling? So I want to try and find areas where we have commonality, where there's technology overlap, perhaps where they're going to be able to see something where they're comfortable with and try and slide into that. Number two, what everyone seems to ask, what's your differentiation, right? They get the general broad strokes, but they want to know what makes you different. And so if you cannot articulate that and do that in a really, really simple way, that session, that 30 minutes is going to be useless. So it's really, really important that I'm going to say dumb it down, but I don't mean dumb it down, right?
Simplify.
I mean, they're not going to remember any more than two things. So why give them more than two things, right? Give them two big things. Then when you're working on the next stuff, they'll learn the third and they'll learn the fifth and whatever, it'll happen. But find two things that align with them. If you have five, great. Do some work, figure out which two are the best for them, and then dig in. And then don't ask for account mapping. This is another one I get a lot of praise from the managers on it. They're like, "Oh, we hate account mapping too," but that's the main thing you're going to do. No, pick an account. Pick one account that you think, RICP fits along with theirs, and they have a good relationship. And okay, that's great. Now you're asking them for an intro because it's their relationship. Now think of one account where you created interest, but this partner might fit in. Now you're 1-1. Right. Now you pick a third account where it's white space for both of you, but you agree, we're going to link arms and we're going to go into this thing ride or die. No other partners, no other whatever. We're going to go on this thing and win or lose, but we're going to try and you're going to see the process. At that point, you've account mapped, because as you're working through that thing, you're going to fail fast or keep going. If you fail fast, you move on to the next one. But during that process, you're going to account map. You're going to start to talk about all the other things that come up. There's no reason to hand a list of 25 things to someone. It's nuts.
I think it's a great approach. Really good. Yeah, it is very good.
And I think there's a misnomer when you hear the term account mapping, right? Your approach, I think, totally makes sense. And I get it, right? It's all about focus, keep it down to singular, simple things. But when people hear account mapping, they think, give me your entire list. Give me your entire list. I'm going to go line it up to the 7 reps we have and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what? Like, I always thought that was a waste of time. I used to call it alignment. Just to change the mindset. I'm like, I'm not here to map. I just want to figure out.
You don't think my competitor's rep wants the same 7 accounts that I'm going to pick or whatever? I mean, it's absolutely insanely nuts. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Damn. I do like when a partner rep is like, "Hey, let me send you my list, and you can look at it." Because I would take the same approach. I'd be like, "Where can we focus? We don't have to map, Or I look at our pipeline, and I'm like, "Okay, this one client's a prospect. We've been talking to them. Let's go after them. Let's add them to this deal or the conversation." But putting a cross-beam project together or anything, it just kind of clarifies where you already might be talking. But I like your approach.
It's a starting point. It's a starting point. It's a data point. It's good. It's useful. It's not the end all be all. Right?
Mm-hmm. So what types of partners consistently show up when there's like real work to do? Because that old song and dance the reps tell you, oh, they don't help out on a deal. Well, are you helping them help out on the deal? Are you including them? Like, what partners do you think are best aligned to do that and work with you and work together?
When you say what partners, I mean, I don't know if you mean the type in general or a personality type or anything like that. I mean, to me, I give an it depends. And I use an it depends answer a lot. Like when I'm interviewing for jobs, it depends. They ask these questions and it's supposed to be binary A, B. And it's like, oh my God, there's so much gray. It depends. So the partner that shows up and that's doing the work is the one that I'm going to go back to what I said, that has trust and that believes in you and is communicating well. That's going to go well, right? If you don't have any one of those things, if you don't have trust, respect, or communication, it's not necessarily going to go well. And if you're not setting clear expectations, doing it up front, I say that's really the best time to do it. You can do it at any time, but changing expectations, in the heat of battle isn't the best time. So it's really good to set up the rules of engagement up front. Are you going to bring in other competitors? Are you the only partner I'm going to work with? How often are we going to have checkpoints? What do you believe? How much do you know about this person's buying process? Or do you need me to fill that in? How comfortable are you with our product? Do you want me to sell it? I'm just a subject matter expert and you're just going to help on the purchasing side. If all of those things work out, communication, and you respect one another and you have trust, all of the other stuff is going to fall into place. So those are the partners that are going to show up and do the work.
Yeah.
It falls apart when any of those things fall apart.
Yeah.
So when you're working with a partner and a rep, and again, because you got to manage both of those dynamics, what would be your approach to helping to coach that accountability without micromanaging it, right? Or without becoming, you know what I'm saying? Like without being that overbearing,
Sure.
Because you're trying to, it's like I used to coach youth soccer. It taught me a lot about, coaching people, believe it or not, because but I'm just kind of curious, like, because you just described it. How do you kind of handle that without kind of being a micromanager or burning out the team? Because there's that.
Sure.
It's a real tipping point sometimes.
It's really hard because there are times that you can't let go. So I'm at the point of my career and job where I am painfully aware that I am working with people as coworkers that are my kids' age, or that could be my kids. And so I have real trouble sometimes not treating them as such and coming in and saving them or making sure they don't make the mistake or anything like that. Right. Yep. So that is very difficult.
Yeah. I grounded a sales rep once. I grounded a sales rep and they were like, Jeff, they
generally don't listen.
No dessert for you tonight, rep.
One of the best results I've got, I'm thinking of, a guy, if he happens to listen, he'll see himself in this. But I would get the phone call and it would be, Mitch, this partner's just not calling me back. And when he sent the email, he didn't do this. And I'm really super frustrated with that. And I'm so mad and he's not doing this and he's not doing that. And I'm not even sure what to do. And I'm like, okay, you just told me what you should do. What do you mean? You just said all the things. So pick up the phone and have that conversation.
Yeah.
Say, take responsibility. Don't say you, right? I'm a psych major, so you got to make sure you communicate it well.
See,
but
therapist.
It's like, I'm really frustrated. I had an expectation that this was going to happen and it didn't. And it got me really frustrated. I'm concerned about the status of the deal. Can you let me know what's going on? Or I'd really appreciate it if we communicated a little bit better. Yeah. Or even if you didn't have an answer for me, could you at least call me and tell me you don't have an answer instead of not, because my manager's bugging me about that, right? And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Then you talk to him 2 hours later. It's like, how did it go? Oh, God, it went great. And now he gave me his mobile number and now we're texting back and forth. And I'm like, okay, you're doing it. You're building the trust. You're building the relationship.
There you go.
So much of the stuff takes care of itself if you just have the baselines.
Yeah.
So that's a great example of what like reps who don't really get it or aren't really in tune with the channel. But give us an example of what like the top reps do that really get channel. And we all know those reps because they are the ones that have figured out the secret sauce. And they are the ones that are consistently getting deals with reps. So like, what's that rep look like? What do they look like to you, and how do you work with them?
Yeah, we're trying to build a profile, just so you know.
Sure. Well, so I think there's a couple of different ones, right? There's one who has so much technical acumen, credibility, or sales acumen and credibility
Mm-hmm.
that almost nothing else matters, right? That they're a subject matter expert and the partner feels so comfortable bringing them in and letting them do their thing and then letting the product take care of it and the deal's going to close, that they're absolutely fine, right? Because what partner doesn't want us to come in and take over and do all the job, right? But now we're not getting necessarily what we're looking for out of a partner, to try and broaden our reach and all that stuff. But that's one that I think works. What works in a bigger way, in a more, I'll say, enterprise or strategic way, is a partner that knows exactly when to let go, how to share responsibility, how to give up responsibility, how to trust in their partner, how to have a really difficult situation or conversation, got a margin thing like, holy crap, we have to talk about this pricing. And I know it's going to piss the guy off, but my partner rep here has closed a $3 million deal with him and he knows how he kind of acts. And I'm not comfortable and my manager's not comfortable, but I'm going to let my partner go with this and I'm going to trust him and we're going to see where it goes. And more often than not, if someone's mature enough and able enough to make that happen, that usually works out, because the feeling of I can trust this guy, we're give and take, we're a partnership, is where it really works out. So it works out best. The guys that are closing the deals again and again are people that partners want to work with because they don't feel belittled, they don't feel marginalized, they feel respected, and it's a true partnership.
Yeah, they're colleagues.
Right.
They're on the same plane, right? They're on the same level.
Correct.
They understand each other. I get that. Perfect.
Well, he just said it, John. I mean, in the beginning, right? Trust. I mean, we talk about it all the time, and people think just because there's a partnership document between two companies that everybody should just work together, right? But you got to go build that trust as an individual, and I think it's a lost art where people just think it should happen because the contract was signed, and it's like still need.
And I say it all the time, because in so many meetings, it's like, well, we have a partnership with XYZ partner, right? And I'm like, yeah, we do. We have that piece of paper, but we only have one rep that will pick up our call, right? So you can say that, but if that one rep leaves, we don't have a partnership with that company, regardless of the paper that we've signed. Our job is to get the second and the third and the fifth and the seventh individual to be engaged. But a lot of times, management will tout, we have partnerships with this big partner. It's one person, right? It's a relationship.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it's so true.
Well, if it's okay, I wanted to kind of go to our pivot. I'm looking at, just want to be respectful of time. So one of the things that we like to ask people on the show is, where are you potentially using or leveraging AI today to help you with your go-to-market, your sales motion, your business motions, the processes? Just kind of curious where you're leaning in. If your company is, if you're doing it personal, if you can't talk about it, that's fine.
Jeff. See, the problem is, because I have my screen up here and I can't look at it fast enough, John's going to kill me, because I hear that there's a partner AI thing that John gave me access to that I can't say the name off the top of my head, and I'm going to look like an asshole. Yeah. Okay. So I tried that. That's pretty cool AI. I gave it kind of a really sticky situation, and I cannot talk about the details that I threw in there, but it gave me a pretty damn good answer. So that's kind of cool. As far as how our company's using it, our founder says something every single time we have a company meeting. He goes, quit being scared of AI. You are not going to be replaced by AI. You are going to be replaced by someone who knows how to use AI.
That's a great, I love that.
He said that all the time. So the mandate for us currently is lean in hard. And we have, we're using one of the major ones. It's a closed loop system in that we can put sensitive, personal, whatever data into it, and it doesn't go outside to the main thing. It's learning its own closed loop system, so we can ask very personal, very specific business questions into it, and that's very, very helpful. So I use that. It's not helpful for more generic things, so I'll go out and do that. And we're given not carte blanche, but we're given the okay to go out, as long as we're not doing specific company things or data or whatever, to use AI for general presentation things, or how to do this more efficiently,
Right.
or how to write that letter or something like that, as long as we're not putting sensitive information in it. So it's very, very much encouraged.
Interesting.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a great
sense.
approach. I like
that
your
wasn't a catch, by the way, about if you were using a specific app. By the way, I just want to be clear. That wasn't designed to be a
very effective.
No.
John, I can't believe I don't know the name off the top of my head, but holy crap.
Partnerbot.ai.
Partnerbot.ai. Yes, there you
Our
go.
channel executive chat agent, which has been getting really good reviews.
I endorsed it.
You did. Thank you. But I like your CEO's approach. Like, we Jeff and I are really deep into the AI space, and we also we believe what he's saying. We don't think jobs are going to be replaced, but if you don't know AI, you're probably going to get replaced, because if you're not embracing it now, you are the train has left the station and you are walking to wherever your next job is, because you're not going to be able to catch that AI train. And if you listen to like Jay McBain, we mention him a lot. We're in a group called AI Partnerships, and it's coming and it's here and it's alive. And if you can't use it or figure it out, why not? It's such a helpful way to do your job.
Well, it's technology at the end of the day, right? And we're all in technology. So to have people that are just kind of like shying away from it is kind of sad in one respect, because I'll just share. I had a quick conversation with somebody on Tuesday. I was telling John how to go to this local networking thing. And as we were talking, this one gentleman was just like, no, man, it's going to take jobs. It's going to take jobs. And I said, look, I can tell you that it probably will. I said, if you go back in history and you think about just go look it up, right? The steno pools. They used to have women taking notes all the time. Not women, but there were steno pools, right? What happened?
Do you know how bummed horses are right now?
I know. Well, that's funny. A funny quote by Henry Ford was, if I asked the customer what they wanted, they would say, faster horses. And I was like, no. But I said, look, it's just part of it. I didn't live through that, but I heard about it. But we've lived through the computer piece, and typewriters replaced the steno pool, and then the computer replaced the typewriter or the word processor, and then the computer, and it's just like this nonstop. Like, it's going to happen. But it was really about who embraces it to use it, so that they are the one that actually can now do that thing. So. But no, I think that's awesome, man. I agree with John. I mean, it's good to hear that. So
go ahead, Jeff.
No. I didn't know if you were going to wrap it up. I do have one kind of lightning question for you.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So, Mitch, this is again, I'm trying to catch you. I already got you once. What would you say is the most underrated leadership habit for somebody to have partner success?
Underrated leadership. Oh, you're killing me with this.
I know, right?
I told you at the beginning, I'm deer in the headlights on specific question.
No wrong answers.
Okay.
What's a habit? What would be a good leadership habit for somebody to help? And it's basically, if they have that, you know what, you're going to probably be successful.
Empathy.
Ooh. I like that.
Completely and totally. If you don't wake up in the morning as a partner guy, I've worked at places they say they're partner first, right? But then they do anything but. If you don't wake up in the morning and think of your partners the same way you think of your customers, you're not partner first.
No.
I love that.
I love it too.
Nice.
So, thank you for that. That was a great answer.
Answer.
We're bumping up against
Good
the
answer.
top of the
Good
hour.
answer.
Yeah. We're bumping up against the top of the hour. Do you have any final thoughts for the audience, Mitch? Any advice you could give our young up-and-coming channel managers, to help them?
Or even experienced ones that need to get back on in between the yellow and white lines, okay? Just saying. Get back on the road.
For the experienced ones, I'd say care more, right? I mean, lean in and care more and be passionate about what you do, because what you're doing is important. For the not experienced ones, I get this a lot. People ask me, so wait, you were at a golf tournament? You went for a state dinner, you went to a suite at a hockey game and whatever, and that was your week. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. In simple terms, yeah, you could say that. I want to do what you do. I'm like, okay, get 25 years of experience in sales, channel, people management, be able to handle difficult situations, handle things that most other people don't want to handle, be responsible for things you can't necessarily control. And you too can do what we do.
Wow.
So true. We're seeing a movement away from younger, inexperienced channel managers to guys like us who have that experience, who can really coordinate the dances.
Where to hit the wrench, right? What's the thing with the ship, right? It's not that it took me 10 minutes to hit the thing in the engine on the ship with the wrench. It's I knew where to hit.
Right.
Right. So why run around the oil tanker trying to find it? If I know where to hit, ding, that's valuable.
And to John's point, it's not, and I don't think it's so much they're getting away from the younger. I think they're trying to get, they really need to go back, which some companies are doing. They're getting back into that nurturing stage, right? Because you had people that would come in and they went through an inside channel role, or they went through different roles to get them so that they could actually roll into it and be successful. And I think people thought, oh, just with the technology and hey, we just need you to write the chug and hugs. We just need you to go to events, take pictures and pick up the tab kind of thing. And I was like, wow.
I don't think you can hard work your way or busy work your way into the result we need to get.
No, you're right. Well, hashtag Mitch on the road. Mitch Simon, thank you. This was amazing. You gave a really great overview of what it takes to be a successful channel manager, channel director in the field, and you do the things the right way. And I love your your being present mantra. It's so true. And if anyone listening out there is trying to be better at their jobs, this is the guy you need to listen to. Reach out to him, talk to him. He's very approachable, great guy, very well traveled. And you know, the person you want to base your success on. Emulate. Yep. Wow. So Mitch, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of the show.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Love the show. Love prepping for the show and listening to some of the older episodes too. I highly recommend it, and we'll be recommending it to more. It's a great thing you guys are doing.
Excellent. We love to hear that. We really love to hear that. We've done over 50 shows, and I think it's just been so enjoyable. And the people we talk to, and the people we're talking to as an audience to help them, because that's why we did this. We wanted to help people do their jobs better. That's why PartnerBot AI is around, to help people do their jobs better. We want to share our knowledge and help you become a Mitch Simon who's super successful and well respected.
Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah. Mitch, thank you so much. Great guest, great interview. Jeff, as always, we could let our listeners know they can reach us at channelsurfers.com. We have a LinkedIn page. We post all of our releases on Tuesdays, and it's on the LinkedIn page. And Jeff is really the mastermind behind that. Email, you can contact us on our webpage at the Contact Us site, or it's john@channelsurfers.com or jeff@channelsurfers.com. So reach out, let us know how you feel, talk to us about what you want to hear, or if you want to be a guest, we'd be happy to talk to you.
We have the Be a Guest link on our website. So go there and you can actually just fill it out. And we'd love to have, look, we're looking for other perspectives. Didn't mean to cut you off, John, right? But other perspectives. Like Mitch, this was great.
It was a good one.
Good.
But until the next show, thanks everyone for listening, and keep listening, like us, support us, and you'll get more great content like this.
Awesome.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Aloha.
Thanks again, Mitch. Aloha.
Thanks, Mitch. Cheers. Aloha.